Okay, we're back. So we've got now Bethersden Woods by Digital Bunny. So Digital Bunny was a finalist in last year's World Cup. So as is his wont, he probably went with something a little unconventional with this, but we'll give it a shot. We're gonna play pin three. So kind of foggy. Oh wow. So we got a blind tee shot over some rocks. It looks like he was going for kind of like a very I don't know what to call it. Like kind of tramping through the wilderness type experience here. Cuz yeah, you can see it looks like he went bunkerless here based on what I'm seeing on this overhead. Hey Rich, glad you could make it here for the last playthrough. Well, it's not the last playthrough. I think some more guys are going to publish today and tomorrow, but I'll be caught up once I finish this one finally. Okay, so yeah, we've got like rocks like really close to the line of play. Kind of, dead vegetation everywhere. So in a way sort of a fantasy concept, I think. Okay, mega false front kind of. We got a plateau on the left. Yeah, like you kind of get the sense that like what they did is they just like cleared the corridor out and moved a bunch of big rocks to the side and then just kind of left them there. Ah, we almost had it. But yeah, certainly um an interesting choice for a contest course, but certainly, I'm willing to, I kind of want to meet the artist where they are, on sort of on their terms, but yeah, so again, like, you've just kind of it's like you've just cleared a path through here. So you got some very narrow corridors. Um, you know, most it seems like a lot of the tee shots are gonna be blind. So we got an interesting second shot up the hill there. Looks like we're gonna have a pretty wild set of greens here. All right, managed to three putt. How are you, Forrest? Okay, so we got a downhill par 3. We can see where we're going. Kind of feels like we went with a very similar green shape on back-to-back holes here, where you've got like this kind of back wing and then like a fatter front part. Oh boy. I think this is going to be our first time traversing going off-roading here. Let's see where he puts us. Oh boy. Yeah, that front to back feels a little extreme. I think it's a nifty green site, but maybe just make that a little more subtle. I know this course is generally probably not all about subtlety. Interesting juxtaposition to Grovey's course, which we just played. I just wonder if this is supposed to be such a rough and tumble course. It seems like I wonder if it would make sense to go with like slightly slower green speeds. Because I don't know how you get the not to be pedantic about maintenance realism, but how do you get the mowers all out here? You know, the all the mowers out here. You know. Okay, so now we got a really narrow fairway again, blind for the most part. You can just see make out a little sliver of fairway there. All right, and then we're kind of like playing through this chute here. Yep, all kinds of humps and rolls in the green. Okay, so this hole's a little flatter. The green's kind of perched up behind some rocks. But yeah, I'd say this course definitely doesn't have a parallel in the contest. I guess maybe to some small extent Chuck's course, but not really. Gigantic tier in the middle of the green. And then we got the fairway getting pinched down by kind of the dead trees down there. Pretty scary tee shot. Yeah, that green's definitely drivable for a 295 guy. I wonder if we can just play a chip down there. Yeah, didn't quite give it enough. I think we probably should have allowed ourselves a splash there. That's kind of what's annoying about this game. You can't really play like a longer bump and run. You know, you basically have to do a flop or a splash if you're like 30 something yards out, because the chip is like you're just too far out to use a chip unless you use like a 5 iron. Okay, so now we got to deal with this raging river. I think you could have toned down the rocks here a little bit. I understand the vibe you're going for, but probably could have dialed it back a little bit. Okay, interesting green shape. Hmm. Again, splash kind of feels like taking the easy way out. Let's try it. Let's see if we can play something along the ground here. That was nifty. So the green's kind of got a plateau in the back right, sort of a funnel in the back left. Alright, this is a pretty beastly looking par 3. It looks like it's all carry too, so I don't think I can hit a hybrid here. Yeah, it feels like you could have toned this green down just a little bit. This feels like not a lot of pinnable space for a 230-yard par 3. But, nice open sight line here. Yeah, I mean, for what it is, I really do. I do dig the environment. It is pretty neat. Okay, now we got a 297-yard par 4. Yeah, very, very all or nothing here. Like you're basically just saying, yeah, just bash a driver as far as you can. That's what it feels like. Downhill. So I think with my driver, this actually probably works out pretty well. Okay, it's gonna carry over the green, but I don't know what else to do. Right, it's not like I have an option to lay up really without taking on any less risk than I otherwise would be. So yeah, so if you go long, you risk running down that slope, but you definitely don't want to go out to the left because you've got to deal with these red slopes running away from you. So you really don't give us much viable choice except to just take dead aim at the green and kind of hope for the best. Okay, so now we're playing back along the river, the other direction. Long, skinny green. Okay, I think if we just play for the middle, we should be good. Hopefully we get a nice little kick to the left, maybe. There we go. And if you kind of shade to the right, like because you're afraid of going in the water, then you got the green running away from you. Okay, now we got to play around this big tree. Okay, kind of a straightforward hole, I think. More bold red slopes. Yeah, green slopes hard left to right. I feel like that's the first bridge we've seen. I guess I wasn't necessarily paying very close attention on the other holes in terms of how you deal with that big river. All right, bit of a 90-degree dog leg here. Oh, but you can go straight forward for it, can't you? My with this wind, my driver isn't quite gonna do it. I don't think. It's downhill a bit, but I'm not gonna take that on. I don't think. Okay, so yeah, this feels a little sort of. Once you decide you're not gonna go for it, it's like it's an automatic play. You don't really think about where you're gonna place your tee shot. It's just I'm going for that left fairway. Like, why not have like a little bit of fairway kind of jutting out into the river or something so that I can right give me a chance to lay up further right to maybe give myself a better angle, whereas instead it's just like, all right, you're not going for it. Okay, just hit it out there. I guess you can kind of go over here with your drive if you want, but I don't know if that really gives you much of an advantage. All right, green's got two tiers, yeah. So if you go with the driver and you don't put it in the right place, you're going to have a tricky up and down. But it is kind of similar to the last drivable par 4 we played, where it's like green's protected by water on the right, and then your bailout areas to the left. Kind of the same theme. Okay, so now we got a shortish par 4, but it's way up the hill. Feels like we've kind of had a mix of, downhill and uphill holes. A lot of the uphill holes, you're kind of like playing up to these greens that are kind of elevated, like up a rocky hillside. I'd say this green feels a little similar to the last one we played. Like slopes hard right to left with 2 tiers. Okay, so now we got to deal with a little downhill pitch here. It looks like you can kind of catch it if you have a bigger driver. You can catch a little speed slot there and kind of run it down onto the green probably. But you might have to deal with some trees if you miss. And we missed the green with a pitch. Nice. Nice elevated tee shot here. We can see the fairway for a change. And it looks like it makes its way through this narrow little chute here. Oh man, pretty severe green. So it's kind of 2 tiers divided left to right. You got a funnel pin in the back right. This one's on a plateau. Hey Ben, you're just catching the tail end here. Not quite. Yeah, I think you could afford to back off with the grass just a little bit. Just give the fairway a little more room, probably. Okay, so the back of the green's kind of a sort of a little funnel. Those front pins, you kind of, it looks like you got to use the ground pretty intelligently. It hasn't been too bad. I've been able to make my way around. All right, I think we managed to clear the dead trees there. Got a bit of a boomerang green. Okay, and then we're coming back up. Okay, so that's one coming down the other way there. And on the left side of that green is protected by the dead tree there. That's coming up short. Wow, that's quite a lot of unpinnable space there. I'm kind of curious why that you have all that green texture to the right. Okay, so when I first saw what this course was about, I thought I was going to be really turned off. Um, but I think I ended up liking it more than I thought I would. Um, there's not like a ton of strategy. It is kind of just like, all right, make your way through the wilderness here, without getting into any car wrecks, and having to deal with all the wild stuff, like the rocks and the dead trees and everything. Um, so, you know, I think as a concept, he committed to it and did a pretty good job with it. The whole designs themselves didn't necessarily capture my interest per se. I thought some of them looked really good. And like, you know, there weren't like playability issues per se, but and there's, you know, there were a few creative spots where, you know, you could kind of catch like a speed slot with a driver and, you know, get it down close to the green. I thought the greens were maybe a little over the top. You probably didn't need, there are lots of tiers with red slopes dividing the pin positions. I thought you could have toned them down a little bit, and it still would have worked really well. So, yeah, but you know, Digital Bunny, he's never gonna, you know, let a contest stop him from taking risks. And you know, he's had some very high contest finishes and some not so high contest finishes with that approach. So yeah, that was Bethersden Woods, and we are caught up for the time being. Hopefully not for long, because we got some more courses we're waiting on. So, so thanks for watching, everybody, and hopefully I'll have a few more courses to play tomorrow.